Welcome to another episode of the Story of Podcast. I'm your host, Kwam, and today we're going to hear the story of
Anthony Chains.
Anthony. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. How you feel today?
I'm a little nervous to start, but today it's not bad so far. It's pretty good. Little things to do this morning, but through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't complain.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start with kind of the more basic, simple things and like just get deeper into things as we go along. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Hartford, Connecticut, born and raised.
Yeah. And where did you like go to school and things like that? I'm gonna move this a little closer to you.
So I started out as in Hartford, South End. So I used to go to Batchelder out in the South End. That's throughout middle school, and then I started transferring through high school wise, and I started at Capital Prep. Stayed there till about my sophomore year. Then I transferred over to Hartford Public High School, so that's where I ended my high school career.
Yeah. Did you go to college or trade school after?
After that, I was enrolling in community JUCO college, kind of out in Bridgeport.
What's that?
It's due to sports. It was like a JUCO college, so it was like another way of or a step lower than college. But it's basically preparing you for college. So
Gotcha.
I was going through that route for a little bit, and then I ended up having to just seek other options and stuff like that. So I did enroll and stuff like that, but it just wasn't my route. So.
Yeah. I also feel like too sometimes with like after high school, like whatever education you go into, sometimes it's about timing. Like I hate that it's such a regular or like normal thing to like be 17 or 18 and have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life and have to go to school right now and all that stuff. Like I feel like now I'm 27 and I feel like at this age now I'm ready to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, and I agree, because coming out of high school, I wanted to do so much stuff, but at that specific time I was so involved into sports and things like that, so that was one of my options at that time.
Yeah.
But as you say, you get older and you start seeking different options and stuff like that. Things you thought you would be focused on while you were young, it changes. You adapt to being an adult now, so things change. So I agree.
Yeah.
Timing is a thing.
It definitely is, and I feel like as you get older, it helps you to kind of be realistic about what you really want to do and like get into, because when you go to any sort of school, it's like an investment of time and money. So it sucks when you like kind of are pushed into something and it's like, dang, I don't even want to do this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Timing, money, it's all factors nowadays. So I definitely agree with that. School.
Yeah, right.
It's expensive now too, so.
And it's getting more expensive. Everything is, but yeah.
It's an investment, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. What sports did you play?
So I played basketball, football. I did swimming, baseball.
What was your favorite amongst everything?
I'd say basketball is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Basketball's my favorite, but I was tuned in with football as well. I'd say it's equivalent 50-50, but more like that 1% of basketball.
Yeah. Do you still play anything now, like for fun?
Yes, I play basketball throughout the summer. I haven't played football recently. I was tuned into semi-pro football with the Hartford Rebels. They had a great organization a couple years ago. Now I'm just transitioning to basketball. I go out to the parks and I just ball with the guys and stuff.
Yeah. Do they still have that semi-pro team?
Not now. No, they don't. A lot of players transferred. I think coaches are coaching high school now. So, they dispersed, but they ended up winning I think a championship in like a 3-year span.
Yeah.
And they just started up as well, so it was a great atmosphere to be around. It's just great to see people, my age or that were in high school to come back and play.
Yeah.
Not give up on their dreams,
Yeah.
It was fun. So
how do you find out about like joining a team like that?
So what's funny was that my dad is great friends with Benny Foles, who was one of the startups for that organization. So my dad, kind of recruited me and my brothers to come play. So
Yeah.
that's how I've heard of it. But they also, branched out through social media, Instagram, Facebook. So yes, at that time, that's how I kind of got into it.
Yeah,
It was
that's
an
good.
option for me, so I was like, yeah, I'm down to do this.
Yeah, right? Might as well. It's good to have good connections like that, especially if they're your parents. That's lit.
Yeah, he always kept me through football and sports from kids to, 22, 23, 24 years old. So.
Yeah, yeah. So did you grow up with both of your parents?
Yes, I did. My parents were 20 plus years married. Probably a couple, I say 2 to 3 years. 3 years ago, my dad passed in a car accident.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's my purpose now. So it's always been my purpose actually, but he's kept me involved in sports from a kid to my low adult age. So
yeah.
yes.
So my mom passed too, so I kind of can like relate to you with like losing a parent. But how was it for you dealing with like the loss of him? And it's still pretty recent, so like.
Yeah, it's so hard, and I'd say it's hard because him being the person that was my role model growing up, and me and my dad always bump heads. So now that he's not here, great, he's always will be with me.
Yeah.
It kind of like sticks with me, and it's like I said, it's my purpose now to take his leadership and role that he has gave me and stuff like that, because he was a community father. Thousands of people probably know him. He was a good coach, good person. So I think it's like great that I want to step into his shoes and do what he's done and probably more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was good.
Yeah, and is your mom still here?
Yes, I'm still with my mom.
And are you guys close?
Yes, very close.
That's good. That's good. So do you have like a big family?
So my dad's family, my grandma, my grandfather passed, but they've always been down south. So they're out in Georgia, countryside, I believe. I'm not too sure. But once a year we'd always go take a trip to go see them. My parents worked a lot, so it's not like we just up and leave. So once a year we'd probably go see them 4th of July. That was a family reunion thing. So I was always excited to go on that road trip as well to just go and see his side of the family. My mom's side of the family, they always lived in Hartford, Connecticut. They're from New York, originated from Puerto Rico. So that's my background. They're also dead. I wouldn't say dead, but they passed.
They passed.
They passed. So yeah, so that's just mom's side and dad's side. So
was your dad black?
Yes, my dad's
black. I only asked that because you mentioned the 4th of July family reunion. I'm like, that's when all the black people be having their family reunions. So.
You know.
Okay, so that's good. So you're mixed.
Yes, half and half.
Does that so I know like with women, sometimes it'd be a little toxic, but it's like a how would I describe it? And within like womanhood or whatever, sometimes being mixed is like a part of their identity. Do you feel like that's part of your identity, or is it just is what it is?
It is my identity. I am Puerto Rican. I think if people looked at me, they'd probably think I'm more Puerto Rican than black.
Yeah.
Till you actually get to know me.
Yeah.
And as far as like how I identify myself, I'd say I'm more black, but I do indulge into my Puerto Rican culture.
Yeah, as you should.
I love it.
Yeah.
And just as much as black, like I love it. I stick up for my culture. Either or.
Yeah.
I can indulge into anything. It's like great for me.
Yeah. So growing up, how was your like friend group? Like, who did you mainly tend to gravitate towards? Not necessarily race, but in general, like the type of person.
So my friend group, I can applaud them because, excuse my language.
Oh yeah, you could guess.
We're 10, 15 years in as a whole friend group.
Yeah.
From when we were kids.
That's lit.
Starting out from youth football. So, I just want to, encourage them because they've stuck around through all I've been through and not, vice versa. So I like to surround myself around them because they know what it takes just based off themselves with ground zero to how they are now. And all of them are good people. They're good to people. They work. They go play basketball. Enjoy it with their own kids. They have kids. So that's just who I like to surround myself around with.
Yeah.
I do have other friends who are in many different levels, but those are my everyday friends.
Yeah.
Typically basketball, work, family things,
Yeah.
events, things like that.
Yeah. Do you have kids?
No, I have none.
Do you want kids?
Eventually.
Do you want a lot, or you don't really care?
I always say I want one boy and one girl. So I mean, it depends if I'm financially stable at the time and can afford to have a football team. I would. I would.
Yeah. Do you feel like you'd encourage your children to like get into sports too?
Yes, and because I think being because now kids are tuned into the phones.
Yeah.
And I was tuned into we were kids,
Yeah.
We were tuned in. We always wanted phones too. So I think they should take that step that I took or we took. Like, we can have phones, but go enjoy things.
Yeah.
Sports, it's a different route. Even if they wanted to play an instrument or whatever, but I'd definitely advertise sports for them. Or persuade them to do sports, because that's another way of being active and getting your mind off things. Like, as kids, we're not trained to worry about bills and not in school and good grades, and I think that's for the most part. So I think I'd want to persuade my kids, stay active. And those, network, they won't think of it as network, but those are your friends. Childhood friends, like we had childhood friends. So yeah.
When you were in school, did you get good grades?
What you think, Ivy? You think I got good grades?
I mean, I would say yes, but honestly, I feel like stereotypically boys don't be caring about school, so like no, but like they could.
It was decent. I was probably a C, B kid. I wouldn't say B's across the line, but I at least wanted to get a C or a B. I was into my books, but I wasn't like a.
You did enough to stay on your sports team.
We had to maintain like a C average. I was probably C plus B. That's probably like what messed me up, but now I was kidding. School, so.
What was one of your like subjects, either favorite or that you were best at?
I'd say probably English. It was kind of a historic class, so history and stuff like that. What we did then was do a lot of presentations and stuff, so I think I was like good at presenting in front of people. Just because I was able to make people laugh. So I think then I would like use that as an advantage, like turn it around school wise, have kids laughing, It was just, I think I was always good at that. So.
So like public speaking and like being, presenting and stuff. That's a good quality to have, because a lot of people be so scared. I agree, and I can't say I was scared too, but once you take that leap of faith into anything, then that's the more confidence you have in anything you do. So and I feel like sometimes like there's a saying like fake it till you make it, which in some cases helps. Like when it comes to like public speaking, like I would be nervous, but I don't know. Then I had to realize, first of all y'all are nervous. So if I just act the most confident, I'll be confident.
We're all human, so I understand. I get it. I was a scared kid too. I'm like,
I think that's just how most kids are. Right? Can you speak more than one language? Like, are you bilingual, I think it's called?
Yes, bilingual. I can get by. I wouldn't say I can't speak it. Growing up, I was like, my mom and dad, my dad spoke straight, English, and my mom spoke a little bit of Spanish. Well, she spoke a lot of Spanish, but to my grandparents and things like that. So I was always around my dad. So I didn't inherit the Spanish, but I kind of understood some things, and now that I'm getting older, I'm trying to inherit it more and be able to speak it fluently and things like that. So I can speak it to get by, but I won't be able to speak it fluently.
Would you ever want to learn? Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of hard because when people say that, it's like there's two different types of learning because of how people are. Like, my Spanish may not be their Spanish because they may say things faster. They may understand it like, and the way I learn it might be textbook.
Yeah.
So it's like, some words are gonna be like, oh. So.
Yeah, definitely. No, I figured that out quickly when I used to take Spanish in high school. It would be like, if you're talking to somebody in a regular conversation, they'll be like, "Why'd you say it like that? Like that's like the super proper way to say it or whatever."
That's
so
slang and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And you said that your mom is Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. You ever been?
No, I do have a scheduled trip this month.
This month. That's exciting.
Yeah, I do have a scheduled trip this month. So I'm, gonna go out there, vlog the lifestyle.
Yes, you should. Do you do vlogging in general?
No. So I'm gonna get into all this vlogging, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I love that for you. Now you're doing this, so you're getting yourself out there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that'll be lit. What made you want to come on my podcast?
I seen the setup, the appearance, and just based off like your presentation on your Instagram, it shows like you're really in tune, and I like people who's really in tune to their craft because it just shows you wanting to step out and branch and do other things. And this just happens to be something that I'm into as well. And I'm like, hey, if I can possibly have a conversation with you and take my steps further and into this craft, and I'd be more than appreciative to come on and have a conversation with you. So I can only thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for asking. So I don't know if all my viewers know, but usually I reach out to others and outsource, but you're the first person that ever reached out to me that wants to come on, and I was so excited. I'm like, wow, I'm making progress.
Yes, you are, and you should. Your flowers. Here you go.
Yes, thank you.
I hope you have a whole bunch of success with it.
Thank you. I hope so too. I think I will. I gotta just learn more about the marketing and promoting and all that stuff, because I don't really promote that much, so. There's a lot of work to be done, but I love creative outlets like this, so it's always something to do, but it's always something you're learning, which I love to learn. I don't know if I love school. I don't hate school, but I just like to learn in different ways. I feel like life can teach you a lot. You can learn a lot from people. That's why I like to interview people about their lives, and yeah.
Yeah, that's great to do. I think that's great, just learning about somebody's other story, like you say. Everyone has a story, and just being able to ask questions, and just like you said, we learn every day, regardless if it's smallest thing or the most largest thing, but you learn something every day, regardless of what it is. So I think people wanting to learn is just a great thing, and it's a great platform to do it off of.
Okay, so let's dive in to some more about you, pretty much. Because I was about to say something specific, but I don't really know which way I'm gonna go, so we'll see. I just do it off the dome. So have you ever had a girlfriend?
Yes.
Tell me about your first crush, a crush on a girl.
My first crush on a girl.
How did you feel? How old were you, if you remember? And then how did you feel about it?
My first crush on a girl was, I'd say 19
years old?
Yeah.
So you didn't care about girls all before that?
No.
That's crazy.
Because I was a kid, and I was in high school, and things come and go. So it's I didn't prioritize sticking on one person and being fully emotionally involved in, to one woman at that time. Not that I was dealing with multiple and stuff like that, but I think my first real crush was when I was 19. And
wow.
I know. It was just a good feeling. I don't know if this is other people, but you know how they say once you're mean to that person, it kind of shows they like you or something. So that person was mean to me, and I'm like, she must like me. And then I just, not give off mean energy, but kind of match it to where it's flirtatious and stuff like that. So it was okay, she make me feel away, and we had a conversation, and next thing you know, it just went off from there.
Yeah. Okay, so contrary to that, tell me about your first heartbreak, if you ever had one.
Yeah, I had a heartbreak. I think all I just played was Rod Wave.
Oh gosh, sad boy music.
I just played Rod Wave, and I just thought about it like maybe this is a life lesson, and because it was recent, and I'm just like, it's a life lesson. I've dealt with this person for years, so it's like, yeah, I learned this time. So it's not really, I don't know, it depends how you determine a heartbreak, because people deal with heartbreaks differently. Me, I learned it as a lesson. I'm not going to sit here and sob and cry about it. So it's like, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Now I'm keep pushing. I know what to look for. I know what I can provide and things like that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I feel like heartbreaks are always life lessons, because whether it goes good or bad, because I feel like people are like accustomed to like heartbreaks being like bad and like, we can never talk, we hate each other, but I feel like things can end in a good copacetic way, and it can still be a lesson. Like you could learn more about yourself, like you said, you can learn more about things to like watch out for, things that you don't love in other people. So yeah, that's a good way to take it. Was your heartbreak from your first crush? Never mind.
Do you know me?
Okay, word. So that was recent for you, and how do you feel like you've evolved as a person since experiencing that?
I feel like it. 'Cause I don't know how to answer that. I just feel like I'm just more focused on me, and it gives me the opportunity to want to do more things that I wanted to do. Not that I couldn't do it before, but it's just more of a focus point of view. So I think it just made me tunnel vision now.
Yes.
Like, go out, do what you gotta do. So different aspects, and when I mean do what you gotta do, as far as like rebuilding my platform and rebranding myself, reaching out, networking, things like that. Yeah.
I will say, so I don't really feel like there's a lot of like videos or discussions regarding like guys, how they deal with breakups after it happens or whatever, but there's a million for girls, like, and that's why I was even shocked that you said your first crush or girlfriend, whatever, was so much later in life, because I feel like for girls, we're like, all they talk about is like a boyfriend, a crush, a cute boy, from like when we're like in middle school. But we definitely always hear as women like ways to like be better after the relationship. And for me, I just went through like, it was my first like breakup. And I was listening to podcasts, and they were just saying like, now you'll be able to like do what you want and like learn more about yourself and all this stuff. And I never really figured it out that like, when you're not in a relationship, you are able to do what you want. Like you said, not like you couldn't focus on yourself before, but you kind of had someone else to like worry about, I guess, like so it can't be like all about you, but like when you are single, like you can just make life all about you, about your goals. You're starting vlogging, you're doing this, you're trying to be more out there, and it's just like a breath of fresh air sometimes.
I agree. And like, I think a point that you just said was you kind of not so much worry, but you take other people's feelings into consideration.
That.
And it's not that you like want to put your stuff to the side. It's more of like, I want to be supportive of my partner, because they may have they may have things going on, such as our crafts, and so it's not that, because my other partner at the time had a craft as well. So it's like, I want to be supportive of that. It's not that I don't want to do what I want to do, but I'm kind of still like planning on what I want to do. So in the meantime, I also want to keep supporting. So it's just, I think, not so much on having to worry, but I want to be supportive regardless of what I got going on. Yeah. And I think now it's like I said, when you are single and you start to try to find yourself, you just have a lot more tunnel vision and things you want to accomplish or get done or plan to do. So I think those are along the line.
Yeah, and I think things too get like clearer. Like I feel like when you're just a solo person, you can just like clear out all the smoke and like focus on like all the things you like, and then I feel like more opportunities come to you too, because it's just like, I don't know, you believe in like the universe and God and stuff like that.
I'm not religious, but
yeah,
I do believe in God.
Yeah, do you believe in a higher power, I should say? Not necessarily God, but in general.
That's a conversation to get into, so I can't really say yes or no at the moment.
Okay. Well, I asked because I believe that the universe does help to like set our life up, and the universe isn't a thing, or well, it's a thing, but it's not like a person. It's just like everything above us. So I feel like, for me, like well, others too. But I feel like the universe like gives you exactly what you want and need at the right time that you want and need it. And I feel like sometimes going through breakups, that's the perfect time to be exposed and open to more, because you're able to actually take advantage of it in the best way, rather than learning about something and just not even acting on it, because then it's kind of a waste of.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. It's like the right time, or right time and right place for everything.
Yeah, literally just like that.
I get what you mean. I agree. I agree. Maybe that was, my right time to realize, like, that maybe that's what I needed. It was my right time. So
exactly.
I agree. That's a great point.
I also believe the universe is always working for our better good. And even when shit is not going the right way, or like the way we think it's supposed to go, it's still going the way it's supposed to go, because we're just blessed human beings. So.
Yeah. It's adversity, we're going to go through things, and I think, like you say, it's just life sets us up to go through things, and it's if you want to go through it, or if you want to sit and talk about it, whatever it is, we go through things, and it's what you're going to make of it. So I agree.
So let me ask you, what's one of the best memories that you have, like, to date? It could be regarding anything.
A best memory? I'm still making memories.
As you should be. But like, let's say if somebody, a little fairy, comes and asks you, like, okay, describe to me like a really great time in your life.
Sheesh, it's so much great time.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's such. Sheesh, I can't say anything recent. That's the thing. But I'd say probably my little brother graduating college was probably my most recent favorite memory.
That's a big one.
He broke it. What is it? Generational
curses. Yes.
He broke that, so I was so proud of seeing him get his college degree.
Yeah.
I was so proud. And I'm still proud.
Yeah, so. That's amazing. And I love that for you and him, because I can relate to that feeling, but just from seeing my friends graduate. Like, I have 2 friends that graduated college, and I went to their graduations, and it was just like, wow, like, people don't do this often, like, especially Black people, so it's just like, it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, and he was another one close to my father that was the baby boy, so it's like, I wish my father got to, he probably did see it, so but it was I was just like happy for my father. Like,
like, you did this.
He got that degree. He got that degree.
So you mentioned that you haven't made, what did you say? You don't have any recent good memories, is that what you said? I wouldn't say. Or no, you said you couldn't talk about them. Is it because like you don't want to talk about them, or you haven't had any?
I would say haven't had any. I mean, anything's a good memory to me, if you ask. Only because I went out this past weekend, and I was with growing up childhood friends, and that's a great memory. So I always have great memories, and I think it just, I don't know, when I say like I can't bring up every memory, but I do have a lot of memories, and I don't know. I don't know what's a memory.
Yeah, well, I think the way you answered it was good. I was just curious to know, like, when you said that there's nothing that you could talk about recent, I was just curious, like, why? Does life suck? Or is it like...
No, not so much that it sucks. So it's basically, like, I have bad memories, right? So it's like anything now that, okay, so I was incarcerated recently. So
how recent?
March of 2024, so I recently
Okay.
got out this March.
Uh-huh.
So anything from when I got out those gates to on is a great memory for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I remember being closed out into, you know, a cell, whatever it may have been. And I was like, damn, I wish I was out doing this with my peoples, or doing this, doing that, doing that. It's like, so it's like anything after that point was a great memory.
Yeah.
And even if this is a great memory.
Yeah.
So even with whatever I do, even if it's freaking going to the store, that's a great memory.
Yeah.
I cherish all of that shit because I remember when I was held down to limited stuff, not being able to do nothing at a point in time. So that's a great memory for me. Anything after that is a great memory.
Yeah. How long were you away?
A year.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
I'm just crazy as somebody like me who never been. So.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Matt, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a little parched.
No, me too. And my throat is so raspy. It's because I'm not sick. I think I'm just getting over allergies and stuff. I don't know what it is.
It's the season change, like
it's dry.
The weather
as
changes
air.
every like week.
Yeah,
it's
literally.
80 degrees,
Literally.
now it's 40 degrees.
Yeah, my body can't take it. But okay, so do you mind if I ask you questions about being incarcerated?
No.
Okay, for real?
I'm an open book. Let's talk.
Okay. So you were there for a year. People like, you know, see shows and stuff like that about it. Is it really like how the shows are?
I wouldn't say it's how the shows are because when you're locked up, you're limited to stuff like I said. Like you can't go out and just talk to people. It depends what type of system you're in. So I don't know if I can get too specific. I don't even really want to get too specific.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Certain jails you can get up and walk around and talk to other people, but different jails you can stay, be held to limited 2 hours of rec time with people. So
which one were you in?
Unfortunately, I had the experience of both. So
I
was at a certain time in one jail able to be freely, not so much freely, but have
more social time.
Yes, exactly. So other jails, they, you know, can't really do anything. It's more of 2 hours of rec, and you just go, you know, if your peoples is right there, you go chat with them, do whatever you do. You know? But it's definitely different as far as like what you can do and what you can't do, and different. Yeah.
How was did y'all ever? I'm sure you guys went through like lockdown at some different points. How was it with that?
When I first got to jail, I was like, man, I don't want to stay out the way. I don't want problems with nobody. I just want to do my time and go home. That's it. So I thought it is technically. I had got a job at the jail. So I remember one time being in lockdown because I used to work outside clearance, so I used to just cut grass and stuff. I think it was me and my other boy at that time were the only two people out of the whole jail that could be outside of the jail doing things. So it was a procedure with that as well. So but I remember one time we had to go down with the kitchen workers because a spatula was like stolen. So they shut the whole jail down.
Really?
Whole jail down. Shut the whole jail down. Nobody can do anything. Stay on your bunks. Everything has to get searched. Everything.
For a spatula?
A spatula. That's how serious it can get.
Yeah.
Because, you know, anything can be used as a weapon. So I stood in that kitchen damn near 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, just waiting for them, looking for a spatula.
Did they ever find you?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think story was they got lost in a dishwasher in the kitchen. So I'm not sure. I wasn't really too invested into finding a spatula. I know I just
yeah.
So I just I can't do anything anyway. So so that's I've been through those situations. Like, I've been through a lot of situations.
So is 23 and 1 true? Like, is that?
Depends. What 23 1 is true. And it depends what situation you're in.
So that's not for everybody. That's like if you yourself have to go in some little isolation thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So if you fight and go to the box, it's possible you can have a 23 and 1. They'll feed you, do everything they're supposed to. You can't ask for an hour rec time. I think they give you. I don't quite remember, but I have took box trips. 23 and 1. You're inside that room 23 days. 23 hours, and you can come out 1 hour for that rec. And in that rec time, it's like a dog cage basically. You walk forth and back in the cage for I don't know how long, an hour.
Yeah.
Depends on how much time they give you, if you're lenient with it or not. So I've been in them situations before.
Yeah. Why? She was fighting.
Yeah, I fought. I had to, if it came or whenever it comes down to my pop's name, I'm with whatever. So at that time it was, I was a basketball player, so I played ball. They say don't play ball in jail.
Why? Because people be jealous.
There's so much personalities. Like if somebody bumps you the wrong way, or even if it comes down to one word being said, people are ready to So I've experienced. I've been there. I know how it is. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. Do you feel like you changed a lot from pre going there to after?
Yes, and I've heard from mad people you're so different now. Not that it changed me, because I was already planning on. Not that I was already planning, but I already had this vision of myself, of carrying myself a certain way and things like that. So when I actually had the time to inherit some of the things I wanted to work on myself, I had the whole year to do that. So I've read books, I expanded my vocabulary, I tried to find my flaws, and I even talk to people over the phone all the time. What you think is wrong, bro? What's something I could fix? Because I had all that time to just sit there and just talk and learn, and so I inherited it. Attached it to my everyday life, and now I hear a lot you speak differently. The way you carry yourself is differently, and it's kind of what I wanted and what I expect for myself, because I've gone through things. Yes, I've gone through things, but it's what are you gonna do now about it? So I think that kind of shaped me into where I want to go now and what I want to accomplish and things like that.
Do you feel like from going there, if I don't know how you were before, but do you feel like it made you more antisocial at all, or more reserved?
I would say reserved, because so when you're going through things like that, I'm not sure for anybody else, but for me, for the most part, that was probably one of the lowest parts of my life. I'm 20 something years old, and I'm about to do a year in jail. Not that, there's people doing 10, 20 years, but even the thought of being isolated in that atmosphere was just blowing my mind. I can't do this. Mind you, I just lost half of my family, or close to all of my family. So having to go in and do that time.
Why'd you lose?
I lost my grandmother. So this was all within I'd say 2 years, 2-year range. So I lost my grandmother. I lost my grandmother, my grandfather first, my mom's side. My mom lost her whole family. I lost my grandmother from her mother. I lost my grandfather, her dad, and then she lost her husband, all within a 2-year range.
Yeah.
So.
And all from different ways.
Yes. I think my grandmother and grandfather was health reasons, and not to mention my uncle, her brother. So it's a story behind it.
Yeah.
It was just health reasons, and then my dad's car accident.
Yeah.
So that was all within 2 years, and then me having also dealing with my stuff. It was a whole bunch of stuff I was going through within 2 to 3 years. So it was just a lot. It did shape me into who I am now. Yeah,
it is a lot, and I commend you for being so strong and so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You give a really good energy. I have a good sense of discernment. I can feel stuff in my gut if I shouldn't trust someone or I shouldn't like someone, even through online. So even from you messaging me about coming on, I had a good feeling. Meeting you in person, I still have a good feeling. And I feel like you definitely are gonna get everything that you want out of life, because
Appreciate that.
you just have like a good heart and a good head on your shoulders. So
Appreciate that.
And that's why I feel like even though it was only a year, like, and yeah, some people are doing like way longer, it's still a lot for someone who low key like doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean?
Like I never really saw. I wouldn't call myself somebody who's in the streets or anything. Like I just, I was young and wild at a point in time. Like I was careless. Like I wouldn't say I didn't deserve it. Like I hold myself accountable for whatever I've done and things like that. So it's just a lesson to be learned. I needed that discipline. I'm not saying that I need to go to jail or anything, but I needed that structure in my life to get myself going and take over the boat, keep the marathon continued, like my pops used to say. So it's just taking care of the family now and just doing what's good and trying to have my purpose in life, as far as whether it being kids and educating them, giving them knowledge based on my experiences and things like that. So I try to be a good person.
Yeah. So some people feel like when they go to jail, like they be like, they're kind of, it sounds weird, but they're happy they went for that time because like you said, they kind of needed like to slow down and stuff. Do you feel like that's the same for you?
I wouldn't. No, I was definitely mad as hell every single day that I put myself in that situation. But I'm happy that I didn't waste a year of doing nothing, and I actually
you were productive while you were there.
Productive every day, whether it being going to the gym. Like I went and got a job in jail, so that just speaks enough. Like, I'm not a person to just sit around and just waste time type thing. So I like to try to find something where I can either perfect my craft or stay fit, do something.
Yeah. My last two questions. I just have a lot of questions.
Hey,
my last two questions about this topic, I should say.
Oh, this topic.
So one, this isn't one of the questions. This just goes with it. Did people write you letters and stuff and call you while you were there?
I should have answered this. I think I didn't answer your question before.
What? Answer that.
It was the it just left my mind. But yes, I did have an aunt that wrote me. My girlfriend ex at the time wrote me a couple of times, but other than that, no.
So they did write you, and eventually did it stop or like fade away?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
So I didn't feel no way because I didn't want people knowing that I was in jail. Like this was something I didn't want people to know, because I don't identify myself as a jail person or anything. So that's not normal to me. So I didn't want people having that image on me. So I think I didn't hold any expectations to people wanting to reach out, or even if they did. But anybody who did reach out and had really to no information on how to reach out or even send a message or send a letter, I didn't feel no type for them, because I know like they're not used to that situation with anybody, or not that I know of. But so I didn't really get mad or anything. But for some people, I did like kind of hold expectations for, as far as like at least one call or ask about me or how I'm doing or anything. Like I did, but I didn't get mad about it. I just move accordingly, Like I'm not gonna get mad at you because you didn't write me or call me. It's my situation at the end of the day. So, now if we catch up, it's how you doing. Like, I'm never gonna feel no time. Keep it cordial and how we always been, because nothing changed but my situation.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't hold grudges.
It depends, but no.
What's something that will make you hold a grudge? It could be a random thing. You don't gotta be specific.
So I had a situation where some people sent money. Some people knew where I was in my situation. They sent money, and that person or a couple of people kept the money rather than, I'm at the lowest part of my life, you know. Just not that I needed it. I didn't need anything.
Yeah, but it's like it's mine.
Yeah, but some other people, I think I'm more was mad at the fact that other people were trying to look out and other people were taking from that person, not taking from me, because I mean that's my money, that's his money, that's their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been in those situations. I don't hold a grudge, but now I know how to move when in that situation with certain things. So I felt bad for that person.
Yeah. Okay. And then my last question regarding this topic, did you make any like friends there, and do you still talk to them?
Yeah, I have one person who I talked to. He was not so much how do I put it, like, he's been down for like 15, 20 years, but when I talk to him, every conversation I gain something from it. And he's from Hartford just like I am, so from him to have like a background of Hartford and how it used to be back then. I was a kid, so
yeah,
I don't know how Hartford used to be when I was a kid. And you know, he knew of my father as well, so it's like it was so crazy because one time I had a bunkie. He was like, "What's your last name?" I'm like, he's like, "What's your grandmother's name?" I'm like, he's like, your grandmother was my third grade teacher. So I'm like,
so funny.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I had that experience one time, but yeah, I have a friend who I still talk to this day. He just, you know, instilled knowledge on me. He read a lot of books. He has a lot of knowledge on a whole bunch of stuff. Even when I want to talk or just to chat it up, check on him, he call me every other day. I pick up. You know, I pick up because I wish at times other people would pick up for me. So I kind of tie that into it too. Not that my lifestyle is his lifestyle, but I kind of know what he's going through as well. So I try to like have some type of, not so much reminder, but like, yo.
Like some consideration. So that's why I asked about the letter thing or the call thing or whatever, because boom. So my sister's ex-boyfriend, he was down for like maybe like 2 or 3 years, and I think she told me he's actually back in again. He was out for a little, and they're younger, like they're like early 20s. And he went away during their like 11th or senior year of school or whatever. But anyway, I don't know why I actually didn't even care for him when he was out and they were dating. But then when he went away, I just felt really bad, and not like felt like pity for him, but just like, you're so young, like, and now you're in there, and he was in there for a while. So I would write him letters or whatever, like all the time. And it was during COVID and stuff too, and he would just be telling me like crazy stories, like he got COVID, and the way that they treated him was so terrible. And I had COVID too, and I was like, I couldn't imagine like having to deal with all that he dealt with and having COVID and like them not even really caring, like, cause you get the chills, all that stuff. He's like, he didn't have a blanket, he didn't have nothing, like just nothing. So whenever he would call or write me, I would always write him back. When it was like holidays, like I would like, cause I couldn't send like a card, but I would like draw like picture, and I can't draw, but I was just doing a lot, like just to show him that somebody still cares and loves you and stuff. Even though him and my sister broke up, and like she was fine with it too, but she didn't want to write him. But I don't know, I just feel like you said, like you have to just be considerate that their lifestyle is different in that moment, and like the least you could do is answer their call or write them back. So, and I feel like if I were in that situation, I would hold a grudge. I would feel some type of way if you don't reply to me. Yeah,
I agree, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like that at times, but that's the growth in me, is like understanding that what your situation is may not be that person's situation, so you can't expect that person to want to act a certain way, or they're required to do something for you or things like that. Like, I've definitely felt like that plenty of times, but I had to understand, like, they're not required to do that for you. You got yourself in a situation, so. Yeah,
I mean, I guess you got more growth than me, because I'll have a big attitude. Like, I'm not talking to nobody when I get out. If you ain't reply to me, we not friends. We not cool.
Nah, definitely. Man, I used to just think, like, I'm gonna come and just take 2 minutes for this person to send a text or something. Like, I don't, I'm limited anyway on 15-minute calls, 10 texts a day.
Yeah, so it's like it's not even gonna take that much time.
I used to have 10 calls. I mean 10 texts and 6 calls a day.
Yeah.
Not even wasted.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show like who's willing to reach out and who's willing not to. You know, I'm sure you could figure it out. I don't know. It's so much people's situations are different. You don't want to tie it down to one situation. It's different. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then when you say like your cousin's ex-boyfriend,
my sister, yeah,
goes back and stuff, that's real. Like there's a lot of people that's young and they just go, leave, come back on the streets, chill, do what they gotta do, come back to jail. Like that's a thing. That's a rotation. That's how people keep, I don't know, the state money and shit like that.
Yeah.
They even went as far as keeping the state money and things like that. So that's a thing, and that's something I didn't want to see on myself as a jail person. Like go to jail, come back. Like I've seen people myself when I was in go out. You know, when you go home, people are the happiest because you're free again. So when I used to see people go home, happy as hell. How this. See them 2 weeks later, back in jail, or not even 2 months, a month, back in jail. Like, and then have that mindset like it's whatever. Like I know how the system is, nigga. They gonna let me go. Excuse my language. They gonna let me go back in, 2 months or something. I'm like. That's why like when I was there, I used it so much as like, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, just learning from everybody.
I want to hear your story. Tell me what I don't want to do.
Yes, exactly. Let me learn from you.
Yes. So I think that's where most of my like, I don't know, positive inheritance comes from.
Yeah.
Hearing people's stories and like I said, my purpose is to try to like, educate others and my experiences, like young kids or even people my ages, just don't take that route. There's plenty of other routes. Like even though I've done, like, I wouldn't say I'm expert or I'm fully experienced, but these things in life took me down and could have possibly destroyed me, but it didn't. And I want to let other people know that there's things that you can do to not let things break you, and just know that every day is a push. You're gonna go through adversity and you're gonna have times where you feel the loneliest or even have self-doubt and low confidence, but that's why you gotta also know that you're your only person. Like, keep going. Whatever you're going through, you're gonna get through. You gotta tell yourself, you gotta be your hype man. You gotta be, you gotta want as much as you want it. So I take all of that in, and I just try to give it out to people, like love and peace and energy.
I love that. Okay, so to wrap up, because we're already ending our time, I feel like it went by so fast.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it was good. Is there any, like, you already gave words of encouragement, so period. But is there any like mantra or saying that you like hold true to and like you remind yourself, you say this to yourself like all the time?
There's so much.
I know, right?
I live by so much things every day. I have a poster in my room that I have hung up saying "Get shit done," and it's like every day, every morning I wake up and I look at that, and that's like my strength to get shit done. Like you just have to in this lifetime. You can't, like, we do have time, and I'm not gonna say don't have fun and do what you want to do, but take into consideration that you do have a future to prepare for, and so that's just a message I live by every day: is get shit done, and whatever is done, now it's time for me to have fun.
I like that. So do you want people to follow you on social media?
Yes, I do have a page.
Shout out your Instagram or whatever page you want.
Okay, I do have a page that's coming. It's called Rant Expressions. If you don't mind, go follow, and I'd love, support. It's free if you don't mind. But that's where I'll be posting life adventures, motivational messages, as far as you know, my life and others, and things like that. So
I love that. I love that. So follow him there. What is it again?
It's Rant Expressions. RANTEXR. I can't spell right now. Rant Expressions.
Great Expressions.
You're gonna find it
on Instagram, right?
Yes.
And then as for us, subscribe to the channel, of course. I don't know why you're not already. Like this video, drop a comment, and follow us on Instagram at TSOPod. And until next week, you guys, bye.